Hi guys, welcome back. This is Dan from Valhalla Games. So those who've been following our campaign book on Kickstarter and hopefully backed it, and our campaign book was the Battle for Primasol Bridge from Sicily in 1943. What we've got is, we have got in front of us here the World War II sprues from Wargames Atlantic, World War II Italians. So here's the main full sprue and the half-size sprue featuring a machine gun and command, and a few other bits and pieces which we'll have a look at in a minute. So you'll know if you had a look at the campaign book that Wargames Atlantic kindly offered or have decided to give every backer from the Kickstarter campaign for our book one of the sprues for free. So thank you very much to Wargames Atlantic, and as part of that they've kindly offered to send this to me. I've got it here now in my hot little hands to show you what you've got if you've ordered that, and also what you're going to get if you order the World War II Italian box set from Wargames Atlantic. Now these are a test shot, so a couple of things to mention. The colours that we're going to see on the sprues here today are not necessarily the colours that are going to be produced in, and also because they're a test shot as well, there's a couple of little sink places and that in them. Totally understandable. They just pulled us off and kindly got it to us ASAP before they do the production runs to box up their sets for people who've done their orders. So just wanted to point that out before we have a look through the sprue. So moving on to the main sprue itself, what we've got 6 bodies on each of these. There you go. So we've got the kneeling, quite a characterful pose here with a lot of I guess back arching sort of movement, and we'll come on to sort of models you can make that with shortly. Over here, another advancing model. We have got this one here, another sort of dynamic pose there. Arch that goes back, and more of a static model, perhaps lunging forward, pointing, something like that as well. So yeah, good range of bodies. What we can do with those, I guess, when we're looking at the heads first, it's down here, and we have got a bunch of the soft caps. I'll turn that around. It's down here, we've got your Alpini heads, a little feather in them, lovely and characterful. Zoom in nice and close on those. At the end of the day, that's the sort of detail you guys have come here to see. They are really nice. Going across into here into the soft caps. I always call these deputy dog caps because they've got the fold down sides to them. Again, lots of lovely character in those. If I flip back up here and we can have a look at the helmeted heads. There you go. Now, a point to note, a lot of people when they saw these online, quite a few people had comments that they felt that they looked more like a modern helmet. They actually thought, because of the way the pictures were posed, models posed the pictures, that the helmet sort of went up at the head, much like a Virtus sort of modern helmet. However, that's not the case. You can see here. They do go around and dip down at the ear, and I just wanted to point that out to people because that was one of the things that I saw in the feedback for the models when Wargames Atlantic revealed them. Not the case, as we can see. We can also see now the tropical helmets as well. Very handy. So moving up, we go into the equipment. Like a lot of equipment, it's faced either side of the sprue so that we can zoom in on both sides and see the detail. So there's that little sink that I told you about there. So it'll be fixed in the main production run. So the helmets, the bayonets, as you can see, off to that right hand side there. I'll just scroll back down to it. So that's equipment for campaign on the helmets. There you go, there's the bayonet there, suspended sort of low on the belt on the front, on the Italian webbing. On the back here, you've sort of got the small pack, the back of the webbing. Plenty of arms. We'll go on to how those can be posed in a minute. And I'll flip around here and we'll see the remainder of the weapon shortly, but I just want to go on to these ones here to start with. So we've seen the arms, that's the left hand, so they are cast in 2 different parts, but not 3, which really helps in regards to the grasping of the weapon in a natural way. I have made some models we're going to look at in a minute. I'm just going to rotate this around so we can go through some of the arms here. Nice weapon at the trail. Also handy is that this sling here doesn't go just down with gravity like that. So this arm could also be held in this sort of posture there, down at the side, and you can see the slings like that. If you wanted to hold it this way, parallel to the ground, or pretty much parallel with them sort of running along this arm movement, all you need to do is just bend that sling outwards in the direction that I'm moving my the brush tip that I'm using here now, and you'll get that hanging motion there for I guess for gravity. I'll check out a couple of the other arms here. Sort of port arm sort of pose, firing in the aim. The M30 LMG, generally acknowledged as one of the worst weapons of the war, particularly troublesome. Moving on from the M30 or M1930 LMG, what we have got is the M38. M1938-42. So this one here was one of the best LMGs, I guess, in complete contrast to the LMG here, one of the best SMGs of the war, nice and heavy. And this one here appears to be the original M38 version, which had the heavier barrel. It had the extra casing around the barrel, the extra weight, and the 4 little gas ports in the suppressor to the front, which helped keep the riding of the weapon down low, kept it in the aim. The reason why I think it's that one, even though we lack that little tiny bit of detail in the holes in the muzzle, which easily done by putting in little dots down there when you're painting, and I think that's a thing to do here, is it's got these extra little ports on the side of the stock here, and what appears to be a bit of a longer stock. So that one there, you know, taking the 9mm round, Parabellum, is generally known to be one of the best weapons, as I said. It's actually pretty unique, and they had a double trigger system. So the rear trigger that it had was, you'd pull on the rear trigger and it'd give you full auto mode, and the front trigger was semi-auto. So yeah, a very, very good weapon, generally acknowledged as such. We've got another one of those over here, and this one is coming up, firing from the shoulder. So good to get those. If you're doing coastal divisions or something like that, like I am, they're pretty scarce on the ground. Probably officers and a couple of regular sort of NCOs that might have been attached to them, something like that. Maybe weapons crews, NCOs, something like that. That were regulars. However, very good if you're doing regulars, or you're doing something like Arditi, which is another thing that I'm having to assemble. Again, we've got a rifle here, this time here, sort of more of a thrusting position, pulled back to be thrusting, and another one with the rifle with the bayonet attached here. Yep, so really, really nice assortment of the weapons. Yeah, I suppose the Italian weapons are traditionally one of the things that they're well known for having issues about. When you look at the rifles themselves had about 3 different calibers to them, depending on whether Army, Navy, the original issue one went to the round nose round, and then they reverted back again for economy purposes due to their production constraints. So yeah, real big issues in the Italian small arms, and one of the issues, I guess, of reliability that they've had during the war in their equipment. Another thing that we've got on here is, there you go, hand grenades. So I'm quite unique in that they were bright red in the Italian army, or the Italian forces. These ones here, this one is the Breda, I think it's the Modello 35 hand grenade. So it's bright red in colour, and it's got this black or silver sort of clip coming down here, the wound coils around the side, and of course the fly-off levers held in the crook of the hand there. So yep, interesting. Bright red when it comes to being painted. Interesting bit of kit. So that's the main frame. Yeah, really, really good bit of kit. Loads of opportunities. I'm going to have a look at the models that I've made in a minute from that. The other frame that we've got is this half frame here. So this one here has a model that looks, I guess looking at the pose, the single cross strap, the boots, generally looks as if it is an officer model. Other things that are on here to back that up, I guess, we've got the ubiquitous pointing hand, we've got the Beretta pistol holster, over here as well we have got the unholstered pistol being held, and if I flip that over so we can get a better look at it. So this one here, I always refer to this as the man with the golden gun pistol because that's what it looks like to me when I see them in pictures, but it was generally looks a little bit more like a Luger, and I believe this is a Glicenti M1910 pistol, which was basically a World War I pistol, as the date suggests, pulled out of retirement and issued to a lot of reservists, and as the war went on, a lot of other units as well. I got those too. One thing I have seen is I'm going to show you how you can adjust this maybe to make it look like the Beretta pistol. Lots of other arms here. Yeah, maybe creating pioneers, someone digging in, useful again as well if you are creating urban guys, or when you're doing a weapons crew, you might want to show them as if they've just been digging their position, and that's going to come in handy because, here we go, we have got the M1937 or M37 MMG. This one here, tripod mounted. And we can see the front two legs of the tripod there, and going over into, where is the third leg of the tripod? We can see it here. As well as that, we can see some other entrenching tools, the Pioneer tools, and we have got the stripper clip boxes for the side of the MMG as well. These here are your gas mask cases, your gas mask satchels, go on the hip of the Italian webbing as well. So there you go, so there's your half frame to go with the full frame. Fantastic stuff in there. I'll turn it around again to the front so you can see the reverse side of that. Yeah, beautiful officer model. Looks lovely. Yep, so basically, those are two frames that you're going to get inside your Italian World War II box from Wargames Atlantic. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put these to one side, and I'm going to quickly go through some of the models that I've made from these sprues. So we're going to have a look now at some of the builds that I've made using these sprues. You're about to see models exactly as they are taken off the sprue. Most of them have just had the tabs clipped off, as you do neatly when you clip them off the sprue, but they don't have the mould lines removed. And I've done this for a particular reason, so you can see how clean these Wargames Atlantic models are directly off the sprue and how little cleanup there is. So first one I'm going to show you is this officer. So as I discussed, it's made using the body that we saw on the half sprue frame. Definitely looks more officer material in its clothing and cut. I've put the Beretta holster on here. I've buckled it closed, but what I have done is I've taken that Glicenti pistol and I have cut down the barrel, and I've also cut away at the bottom of the body of it. Doing so has created a pistol that's much shorter. And I'm just going to trim the back on a diagonal angle, and you know, consult your get online and look at the pistol of the Beretta, look at the pictures of the Beretta pistol, and yeah, I'm going to cut that down like that. So what I did do is I put the soft cap on him. I then put the water bottle on the back here so that the straps lined up with that, and I just bent him forward slightly in his pose, just heated it up just slightly on the back with a candle, so I'm not going to break the plastic at the back there or weaken it. And I have got him into slightly upright pose. He's bending backwards just slightly, looks as if he's firing maybe an SMG or something like that, and I wanted him in a more upright pose. So I think you'll agree he came out very good. And looking at the face, look at loads of expression in there. Yeah, really good model. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, so we looked at that body earlier that had loads of movement in this arch back. So this is the way we've used it here. I've used it to throw his hand grenade. You can see that's the hand grenade arm, loads of movement in that. Yeah, we've used the arm with the weapon sort of at the trail, as I discussed, but what I've got here is I've just pushed in the sling there. Yeah, if I bring it over to the front, you can see it there. Just pushing that sling so it dangles even more sort of vertically. Use that gravitational sort of effect. He's got his bayonet down the front there where it is in reality. Put the helmet on him, and there we go. A nice characterful pose, throwing that hand grenade. Yeah, really good. Lovely. And the other body that I said had quite a lot of movement in it. If I turn the correct side around, you can see the rear leg here. You see he's moving forward. So looking at him this way, you can see he's really facing forward. He's charging or in the advance, or maybe just repositioning himself to repel an attacker. You can see he's just got the one cross strap here, so I haven't got a pack on him. I have made sure I've mounted the equipment logically, so we've got his water bottle on him there, and a small pack there as well attached to the back of his webbing. With a helmet, and because he's in quite a characterful sort of dynamic pose, I'm giving him one of the heads with the yelling sort of expression on his face with the mouth open. So yeah, loads of pose, loads of dynamicism to that guy. Yeah, great effort. So here we go, one of the advancing models, and we can see how well the arms really. So we've got the sculpted hand holding onto the stock. We can see how well it fits there, though. This is not one of those floating hand situations with your models when you've made them. Very good. Okay, advancing, so less, I guess, anger or character in his face. He's quite stoic moving forward. You can see using the straps of the equipment, we've got his gas mask case or respirator case. We've got his pack attached to him here, and on the other side using the straps, we've got his water bottle attached. Yeah, moving forward, repositioning himself, maybe doing a bit of fire movement. He's maybe dashing forward, and while his mate gives him some covering fire. So yep, another great model made up using these parts. This one here, positioned if maybe he's looking around the corner or something like that. Again, advancing much more cautiously. Again, he's got the gas mask case there, the pack. You can see the detail in these folds and these models. Brilliant. Again, look at how this model's holding his rifle. Yep, no floating hand syndrome or floating weapon syndrome. Just the tiniest bit there, but he's repositioning his hand. It'll look nice in there when it's all shaded from the painting. But yeah, another fantastic model. This one here, advancing. He's got obviously the full size rifle. The last one had the carbine. And this guy here in the aim. You see what we have done is I've just positioned his head there, looking down the weapon, aiming. He's got the bayonet in the correct position. He's got his gas mask case on there, and also his water bottle, using those cross straps of the Italian load carrying equipment. He's got his pack on. Yeah, he's got his weight forward there and in the aim. Yeah, great model. Great model. So what we can do here is, you can see how I have positioned the head. So what we do is, if you need to get a little bit more movement in the neck, it's in two parts, this head. It's not a ball and socket joint. So what you can do is, you can just shave down either the neck or a little bit on the head as required, glue it on, and then bend it over in any way which you need to do. A little bit of super glue in there, which you can't see, but actually there is some super glue in there, in that hole, that'll fill in nicely when we paint it. You won't even notice there's a little tiny crook in there underneath his, where his jawline meets the ear there. You won't even notice it when it's painted up, because it's filled up with basically super glue acting as a bit of putty. A little bit of a hint there for anyone if you didn't know that. So another great pose using these models, and I'm going to show you one more. This time it's going to be a different weapon. Here we go. So here is the M37 MMG. So using the kneeling body, got in position here, you can see how nicely the tripod sticks together, and the rear leg, the tripod goes in between. There's a divot in the bottom of this base here. It helps with positioning. Quite prominent handles on the model, not necessarily a bad thing. And what I chose to do is there is a little like a port or tube at the top here of this this barrel. So I've filed that one down slightly. I thought it was quite prominent, so I've just filed that one down there. I want it a little bit less prominent, and this whole barrel here actually twisted and then was removed in the actual weapon itself. So yeah, interesting features. Stripper clips fed in from the side. I've left the box off, and what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to put stripper clips onto it. I'm just going to have a think about how I'm going to pose them there when I make up the whole team. So this model here, yep, using this is a Wargames base, so you can see how it mounts up there. Obviously, when you put a little bit of dirt around here, your basing material, it's not going to shake or wobble at all. So yeah, so you can put your other models on there as you see fit to yeah, create a weapons team. You know, maybe you want to add an officer come over here to check out what's going on, and then the other kneeling bodies, you could take one or two of those, use one over here maybe and another one over here to create a weapons team, whatever you want to do. But you can see now it's a beautiful model. It's going to paint up really well also, and as soon as I've got it sculpted into that base there, it's going to make a really nice addition. So there we go. We have got now your look at the Wargames Atlantic World War II Italians. Yep, some fantastic poses capable to be made with this set. Yep, I think it's a great set. I'm looking at the things that I've done here with it. You can see that some of the shortcomings that people say about, you know, there's only a few poses in there. Well, other suppliers out there have only got a few few plastic poses as well. It's all about the small things you do, like we spoke about the pistol here, the posing, the bending of things, yeah, the small things we did to his neck. All those sorts of things you can do with any plastic models is what we need to keep in mind when we're making this kit. It's a really good one. The quality of it is fantastic. I'm glad and we're really proud to be able to bring this to you and to be able to offer in conjunction with Wargames Atlantic to the people who supported our Kickstarter. So thank you very much for that. Thank you, Wargames Atlantic. I'm looking forward to getting these painted, and I'll come back to you later and show you the painted and finished article. Thanks guys, see you soon. So you go guys, one of the large, one of the small sprues of Wargames Atlantic World War II Italians. First things first, here's the guy we were talking about throwing the Red Devil hand grenades. You can see it turned out to be quite a natural pose, I think. Great dynamicism in the body. Yeah, really good sculpt. What I'll do is I'll get in here and turn him around for you. There you go, and let's have a look at the back as well. Yeah, I'm really happy with this guy, really happy how he turned out. There's that view with the rifle there, as we discussed. A little bit of work on the sling. Yes, I think it turned out really great. Let's have a look at the next one. Right, here's the next guy. This is the guy we spoke about advancing, perhaps to a different position. Check out the back. Nice dynamic pose. Good position in the legs, really natural. No crazy clown legs. And then move on to this guy here, bayonet fixed. Again, really nice position in the body. Good pose. I decided to put the pack on him in the end. very natural. Love the bayonet. I had a little tiniest little bit of flash on the end, as you would have seen in the assembly photos. All cleaned up, really nice, really sharp. Great model. Here we go, here's a view of the machine gun. As I said, I plan on putting the clip, being clip fed on the side. I haven't done that yet, so you can see the miniature as it comes out of the box. Don't want any little conversions by me that aren't in the box to cloud anybody's judgment as to whether they like it or not. And here we go, lucky last. Here's the officer that we made. If I turn him around here now, you can see how the Glissandi pistol that was in the pack, how I converted it as we discussed. Cutting it down, snubbing the nose and slightly beveling the back, turned it into Beretta. So it turned out really good. The detail on this is really good. Yep. Look at the folds here on this guy's outfit. See how great it turned out there. Really good job of sculpting. Turning around, face the front again. There we go. Really happy with these, really happy they turned out. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to get a few other brands of Italians and I'm going to place them next to them and we're going to have a bit of size comparison. See you in a second. Here we go guys, first size comparison. On the left, Warlord Games Metals. Centre, Empress Miniatures, and right, Wargames Atlantic. Now we can see on the left that the Warlord Games metal is a little bit smaller. You can see that even an inch apart, however, or almost 2 inches apart, the size difference is not that noticeable. It is generally acknowledged that the Warlord Games metal Italians are very small for the ranges that they have. So yeah, but I think it fits in pretty darn good. Let's check out the other ones. Here we go. Unfortunately, I didn't have a grenade throwing model either by Empress or Warlord Games. My Warlord ones are worth the Rex for photography for our book at the moment. But a similar sort of a pose. Again, you can see the size differences there. That is a very small model, the officer model on the left by Warlord Games. Even for those metal Italian ranges, they're very small. Here we go. Here's our next pose. Same setup as before. Let's check out the others. There we go, there's another one. Again, that is one of the smaller Warlord medals on the left. So don't have any Warlord plastics at the moment, guys. So you have to excuse there's no size comparison there. And to be honest, I probably won't get any either now that I've got the Wargames Atlantic ones, because these models are so nice. Really enjoyed putting them together. Here you go guys, so one of the full and one of the half sprues of Wargames Atlantic, World War II Italians, and 156 28mm. Painted up, ready to go. I think you'll agree, these are amazing models. You know, look forward to getting them. I loved painting them, bring them to you. I'm really pleased you'll be able to see now the versatility that they have and also how nice they paint up. Sometimes it's nice to see stuff painted not by a professional studio painter but just by average Joe blogs like me. I've really enjoyed them, looking forward to getting them some photographs for our book and getting them onto Table Some Games. Thank you very much and join us back here soon.
Addestrare in tala ruota, regola sua esti lingua muta, picciotti ma la vita state attenti.